Hi, I am Kager on Wheels, and today I will be test riding the Kawasaki Versys 300X again. Why again? Because last time I tried to do a test ride on this one, it ended like this. Yeah, that happened. So it was this exact bike. This was me, and this was me, and they repaired the whole bike. It was not a nice feeling, so round 2, fight! Now, more seriously, what do we have here? We have a Kawasaki attempt to redo the amazing for off-road KLX and KLR 650. Did I say that right? I hope so. It's not from my time, so... But the idea is basically the same. Simple, uncomplicated, robust, and impossible to break down. This is the whole point of this one. It is a 300, not a 650, but the idea is keep using a 300 engine to keep the weight down. Probably has less power than the old 650, but the whole idea is lightweight for good off-roading. It looks the part. Front wheel is a 17-inch rim, rear 19-inch rim, 17 at the rear, 100 width at the front, 130 at the rear, so your relatively standard off-road tires. It's not a 21 at the front, it's a 19. Okay, it's not a big bike, so it doesn't need a 21, I think. Standard suspension, everything here is standard. There's nothing exotic, there's nothing groundbreaking. The lights are still halogens. Everything is standard, cheap to replace, cheap to buy, cheap to fix, simple, uncomplicated. The whole idea is that if you fall over and break something, you can fix it yourself. It's the same philosophy as the KLR, KLX. I might be saying something stupid here, but the whole point is this. Even the instruments, if you look at it, it's the old Kawasaki instruments or outdated ones. But on this one it kind of fits. Because that's the whole point. Again, simple, uncomplicated, and cheap. That's the whole point of this bike. This is a 300. It's not a 1000 top-of-the-line bike. It's a cheapish 300 bike, so you can buy it and go off-roading and fall 20 times a day, or just buy it to commute for cheap. So, on this particular bike, there's nothing much to show. I don't have the key yet, so I can't show you this. But there's nothing much to show because there really isn't much to show. It's just a bike, and that's the whole point. Oh, look, there's an extra. This thing. These are probably a bit loose because of my, well, slight mishap. Let's see how she rides. So here we are, the test track, the first test. This is a 300cc engine, so let's see how she goes. In 3, let me just let that thing to get open. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. And that's 100, 120. It goes enough. It is not spectacular, but it is no slouch either. It's as fast as a pretty fast car, and over that when going from a standstill. So this has 40 horsepower. That's why it is so nice to ride. The engine feels like just enough. It's not amazing, but it's not very slow. It is a 300, about what you would expect. Now, I made a pretty big claim stating that this is the spiritual successor to the KLX or KLX 650. I've never ridden a KLX 650. I think I never even saw one, but I did ride the XT 660 from Yamaha on an off-riding course, which comprises nearly all of my off-riding experience. I've done a few things since then, but on paper this looks a lot like it. Like I said in the intro, it's an uncomplicated, easy to repair simple machine. Also light. True dual sports fans have been clamoring for a bike that is under 200 kilograms for off-roading. Well, I'm pleased to tell you that this bike weighs 175 kilograms with a full tank and full oils. And that's amazing. That is seriously amazing, because my own 125 KTM, and KTM is known for making light bikes, it's their whole thing, weighs 165, which is only 10 kilograms less for an engine that's half the size. And how am I going to enter this place? Well, it is an off-road, right? Yeah. But I'm not yet used to it, so I'm a bit, what's going to happen? And as you know, I have little to no off-road riding experience, so here goes the off-road test track with an idiot at the wheel. A slightly sick idiot, by the way. You might notice my voice is a bit off. That's because I am slightly sick. I can tell you one thing. This simple, not upside-down suspension actually works pretty well. Why? Weight. Weight is the enemy of off-roading. Actually, it is the enemy of any kind of enjoyment on a bike, but sometimes you need to take the weight and you just put more power to unbalance that. But on off-roading, you don't need the power. So weight is simply an enemy which you cannot circumvent or defeat. Therefore, a light bike, and a big piece of wood just hit my foot and it hurt. So I'm going slow, or I should be going fast. The tires, as you saw, are mixed tires. They're not off-road, but they're not road. They're like 50/50s from Bridgestone, I guess. Oh, this just works so nice. So well, so lovely. And I'm going slowly because, well, I don't know why, but when I'm off-roading, I'm always deathly scared that the front is just going to wash out. So I go slow, and actually fast is easier, like jumping that little rut there. This is not a hard off-road thing. It's just hard-packed dirt with some sand on top of it, so it's actually quite skiddy. But it does have these really big ruts in the middle. Like, how the fuck am I going to go through this? Someone already put some things in here, because otherwise you can't really go over this. It's so deep. And the camera does not do this justice. These are really deep ruts. If I put my wheel in there, it's not coming out. Or actually it is sideways. Now, I already crashed this bike once. Let's try not to do it again. What gear am I in? First? Probably no, it's second. And still indicating. See? It's really hard packed dirt with sand on top. I am also way out of shape, so I'm already tired and I've done literally nothing. So there's that. And yet, here I am having fun. And it does work. Standing up works fine. My arms are completely stretched if I stand up completely. If I just bend my knees slightly, as I should, my arms are now slightly bent, and so the position, while not 100% perfect, a couple of risers would make it perfect, it is very, very good, completely stock. Especially if you bend yourself slightly to absorb impact and stuff. The engine, well, the engine is the weak 300cc engine you'd come to expect. The 660 engine I tried, which is probably analog to the previous version of this, the KLR or KLX. I don't know which letter it is, so I'm just going to say it randomly from now on. I think it's slightly two different versions of the same bike, more extreme or less extreme, so I'll just call it KLR. No, KLX, okay. But you know what bike I'm talking about? Well, it was a single cylinder, if I remember correctly, on the Kawasaki. And the Yamaha engine I tried just felt like a big thumper. That thing felt like a tractor. It would rather throw me off the bike than stall. This one isn't that, because I think this is a two-cylinder 300cc engine, not sure, haven't read on it yet. Probably on screen. But this doesn't feel like that big thumper. This is a bit more smooth, which makes me a bit more scared of stalling it. But if you keep it at decent revs, it's very smooth for riding, and it works. It's not jerky, okay? I can jerk the throttle and it'll go, but it's easier to keep it at a single smooth throttle application. Not sure if I wouldn't prefer a single cylinder monster torque engine, to be honest. But this bike is also designed to go on the road as a normal bike, and it works well on that. We'll see that in a bit. But then it also works here, and that's the whole point. Dual sports, adventure, go anywhere. And to do that, it does work. And why am I standing up if this is so easy? Let's try skidding a bit. Wow! It does go nowhere. The rear wheel was skidding like a madman, and the bike was completely stable. Not jerky, not moving around, not scaring me half to death and jump. Big ruts here. And it just eats them because it's so freaking light. That's the advantages of smaller bikes for proper adventuring. This can do a lot more off-roading than what I'm doing. Look, I'm sitting down, and I would usually stand up on this kind of terrain. I'm just going to stand up for the big ruts now. And this with some mega off-road tires, big knobby ones, it'll just eat this. It's going to be like a highway. No, right? Oh, the gear shifts are very easy and with a lot of positive feedback, meaning you can really feel the gear going clunk in, but it's not the kind of gears that you have to really push and hurt your toe trying to push it back in. It's easy, but you have that feel that, okay, it's in. And with the engine not applying force, it's easy to shift up and down. So if you're off-roading and in a pinch you can't really go into the clutch, you can just stick them in. Like this. I'm going to just not use the clutch and just press down and release the throttle like this. Let's see? And it didn't feel bad. It just did it. Again, no clutch. So it works. It's a pretty good off-road machine. Pretty good is an understatement, and it's very agile. Look, no feet down. My foot is there. I instinctively put my foot down as if I was going. I came from that, and I'm going there. Why not? This one asks for it. Let's throw a plume. 3, 2, 1. Plume! Oh yeah, that's a lot of fun. Does this do good off-road? Oh yes it does. And remember, again, I have no idea what I'm doing, as anyone who does off-road has already noticed. I have zero skill, and look at me. Okay, this is really easy. This is like a road with dirt on it, but back there were some iffy parts with big ruts, and I think I know where this road goes because I know this thing. I've walked along this, and this has some pretty nasty terrain up ahead, so I'm going to have to turn around, most likely. Also, this whole area is now closed because of risk of fire. Yeah. Did you see anything saying that this part was closed? No? Well, neither did I. Did you see any sign saying I couldn't do this? Nope, neither did I, so here I am. They've closed that road where I stopped and turned around is supposedly closed, but where I came from, it wasn't. Big rocks. You just need to avoid the worst of it. Although, to be honest, on a test ride I should be going over all of that crap. But I'm not skilled enough. So you're wondering, why are you doing a test ride on a machine you're not skilled to ride? Well, it is a test. If I can do it, just to imagine, Jesus, sorry, that was a hard word to say, what you with your Uber skills could do. And that is bad terrain. This is slightly less bad terrain. Fuck it. I love it. Then again, this is the first time I'm doing off-road with this one, so it's easy, it's normal to go a bit softer. If I had this bike for a while, I'd go fast on it here. If I had this bike for me, which is quite tempting, because this could make some pretty cool videos of some pretty weird places, and it's practical enough to take to work if I just stick a top case back there. This seems like a marker of some sort. I would put some serious knobby tires on it and take it off-roading everywhere. Or if not some serious knobby tires, some more off-road and less road tires, and just stick to riding calmly. But yeah. The first time I sat on this bike and the bike was off, it just felt good, perfect. It was like, wow, I like this one. And the engine was off. I turned the engine on and I was like, yeah, I like this engine. I like this bike. I haven't even ridden it and it just feels right. The seat is thin. You reach the ground easily even though it's a tall bike. The tank is thin. The whole bike feels like a light off-road machine. You just sit on it and you just go, oh yeah, this is it. This is the thing. And you're sitting very upright so you have a good perspective on the road ahead. It's awesome. It actually is quite deceiving. And then, and I'm going to turn around now, the train's getting bad and I want to do the Portuguese video back there, not down here. Let's say I just drop the bike, which I'm not going to do. It is 165 kilograms. I was trying to get my water bottle here, but this is just too wide and it just fell off. So I just dropped the bike. I'm in the middle of freaking nowhere alone. What now? I did this on my garage to get it around and it was horrible. So you just grab it here, pull it towards you, or some people just do it like this. Look how light this is to do. It's so easy. The first time I did this in my garage I nearly dropped it because this is just so ridiculously light. Little weight on the back. You've just spun around. See? If this was thinner, this is an easy bike to do this. You cannot do this easily on an Africa Twin because it's too heavy, and the Africa Twin is a light bike. Forget about doing this on a Super Tenere. You'll need 3 people, a hefty lunch, and you'll need to rest for an hour afterwards. And this one, just like, oh, the road is over. Flip it around and let's go back. Woo! Off-roading approved. Let's see how it does on the road. By the way, the tires are Trail Winner. Yeah, they are the brand. The model is Trail Winner. The brand is IRC. So these are crappy tires. Okay, good Kawasaki. That was very disappointing. Crappy tires. They work. Okay. Come on, a couple of Bridgestone Trail Max or Dunlop Trail Max or some Bridgestones. IRC. Seriously? Well, they do work, so I can't complain. Let's see it on the road. The open road. You might notice that I did not start this where I usually do because I got distracted while I was filming the Portuguese video. And that's the whole thing with this bike. It is that good. It just distracts you. When I sat on this bike the first time, it was night. The first time before I crashed it. It was pitch dark. And I just sat on it with the engine off and I felt, oh, this is nice. I like it. I like this bike. And it wasn't even on yet. I turned the engine on and it has a very nice purr. And I'm like, ooh, I like this. I don't know, this bike just clicked with me. It has that special thing, that special star that just makes a bike special. That makes you deliver the bike after a test drive and keep thinking on it, saying, that was a good one. That was nice. That was a very, very nice bike. And this is one of those very rare bikes. And it is a less than 400 pounds or 200 kilogram adventure bike. This is a true adventure bike, and I'm going a slightly different route because I've done a little section here with my KTM RC125, yes, and a racing bike, because I wanted to find this road and I did not find it, I did not know where it was, so I went to an off-road thing back there, and I'm going to do it with this one. It is a very, very special bike. It's, let's say you want an adventure bike, you want a proper off-road machine, but you don't want a CRF 250, which is nearly an enduro machine. It's to ride here, not on these dirt paths, it's to ride in the middle of that. Okay, it's crazy off-road. I just want something, I want to do some dirt paths, I want to do some, what the British called green lanes, I want to do some bad pavement, I want to do some adventure. Go, where does that road lead? And just go for it. Just like the Africa Twin. And this bike, that's what this bike does. And you put a top case on it and you can take it to work and carry your suit there, or your laptop, and then coming back from work you just go through the dirt paths because it's fun. It's a true dual sports, and it works on road too. You didn't actually see the test track the way you should, but it's not important. It's a bit light when you're on cornering like this. It's a bit unstable because it's a long leg bike and the suspension isn't nothing very well sophisticated. It's basic, but it's not dramatic. It just doesn't perform, but it works. Okay, that's the whole thing. It doesn't perform on roads. It works. And as you get more used to it, you'll manage to ignore the... It's not wobbliness, it's just the feel of it being a bit lighter. Or the wheels being on another postcode, because the wheels feel a bit far away from you when you lean it over. But it's just a slight feel. It's worse on some other bikes. But this just kind of works. It's a lovely, lovely bike for adventuring, which is what I'm doing now. I don't think this is the way I came, but let's see, the way I wanted to go. But hey, why the hell not? Let's see where this leads. And if it doesn't lead anywhere, I can just flip it around. Oh, Eucalyptus Street. Eucalyptuses Street. Or Street of the Eucalyptuses. Well, that's a mouthful. See? I'm doing a lot of off-road on this one. And yeah, I did this with the RC125 because it's a ridiculously light bike, like this one. And easy to reach the ground on, like this one. I'm just going to throttle here on this. Oh, this is much easier than going slow. See? This is what this bike is for, and holy crap, what happened here? This bike is lovely for this kind of stuff, and look how nice you can... What kind of places you can visit with this. I love it, I love it, I love it. Again, another bike. If I had money, I would buy it. I really would. I'm not joking. I would buy this one, put some decent off-road tires on this, and while this actually works, while I can't afford it, I would just use these and just go have fun, and I would break the crap out of it. I would drop it and not care because it's uncomplicated. The indicators are just halogen. I can just buy any indicators on the market, like those Chinese bad ones for like $1 and just trade them. Oh, the mirror broke. Yeah, any kind of mirror. It's just a universal one. It's nothing sophisticated. So at some point I just get I just buy the cheapest I can, and I'll just consider it disposable or something. Or just fold it in, or just remove it and carry it on backpack while I'm riding. Yeah, and it even works at low revs. How nice is this? Tell me, seriously. An idiot who does not know how to ride, look at what I have just done easily. It's not a hard trail, but this is not a particularly easy one either. Look at this, and then onto the road without skipping a heartbeat, and let's just go home. Awesome. Awesome bike, I love it, and I believe this is a worthy replacement for the old bikes you guys are all using which are also very cheap and very like this one in philosophy. Light, simple, cheap, effective. And I hope on this one too, reliable. Maybe it'll lose some of this agility if I get some crash bars to protect the plastics, because there's a lot of plastic here, and a sump protection, but that's also true of the KLR. And with those accessories it'll push the weight up to say 180, 190, but it'll still be sub 200. And then if you put a performance exhaust, which should be lighter than the stock one, you'll claw some of that weight back. So yeah, it is a good adventure bike. Finally a proper dual sport, lightweight, simple, cheap, reliable and durable, or sturdy, or rugged, yeah, that's the word, rugged adventure bike. So let's go one long ass corner to the right with lean on, see how it moves around a bit. Let's say goodbye to this lovely little bike, and that was the car whistling something. It's not fast, but it's not no slouch. It's that thing. It does not perform, it does. It's not a performance bike, it is a do bike. Just does what you say, and that's it. Cage, you're out.